Real?
What I might suggest, because we've got milk and milk is very thin and we've got a drip, is I'm going to set it to auto wipe every time. So if you hold on a second, if you just give me a second, I'm just going to change to plate settings, and then it's more, which is more auto plate. Oh, hold on, this spoon, because it's not the plate. More spoon settings, and we want auto spoon wipe. Yes. And you'll see there's a blue ring around that, because that tells us it's on.
Yeah.
And now, when we go back out, what you'll see, if you scoop when you're ready, when it's there you go, if you scoop your next bit of food, if you're lined up, what you'll see now is it's automatically going to wipe the bottom of the spoon each time, because you will get a drip pretty much every time with milk.
Yeah.
It does a turnaround to wipe the food off at the same point as it picked it up. So if you've got food of different types in the plate, then it doesn't mix your food up.
Just a little bit too high, but it's fine.
So we'll adjust that. We'll have to wait for it to finish moving. It only takes a second to adjust. There you go. Do you want to do the adjustment now? Do you remember what to do?
So, my position. Yeah.
If we wait for it to finish moving, and then once it's finished moving, then you can do the adjustment again. Right, there we go. Now you can move it.
Just slightly down.
Lower.
Pull it by here and there rather than the spoon, because you're likely to pull the spoon off if you keep going.
Keep going.
Pull this
Close it.
Pull it. There you go. That's it.
Yeah.
Keep going, Jackie.
A bit more.
That's it. Perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
There we go.
Oh, I'll have to move it now.
Yeah, you will. You might have to wait for that screen to come back on. Can you see your buttons there? So that's the middle one is the turn one.
That's right.
If that was all different sorts of food, you could be selecting some sausages or some peas or a bit of carrot.
So each button underneath relates to...
The one on the screen.
Yeah.
Which means that the buttons will always do what it says on the screen, which gives you that control. It's not, the button doesn't do one thing, it does whatever the screen shows you. There you go, that's it. Is that you don't look like you're going up as much now? Is that better?
I moved the seat back as well.
Yeah, well we can actually just do that.
No,
as well.
I did it to look at these.
Yeah. So give it a bit of a turn. What you might notice is that it turns slowly for a few seconds and then it speeds up a little bit. And the idea of that is if you want something that's on the opposite side of the plate, it moves a bit quicker. But if you're just doing a very slight line-up of your food, if you just want a very slight adjustment, it does it nice and slow.
Right.
So you get used to that speed-up point. It's for reaching food around the other side of the plate a bit quicker.
I mean, Rob can reach forward, but sorry, Rob.
No, carry on.
If I just move your head back a little, I'm just thinking of some of my other patients who couldn't move their head forward at all. You could position it further, couldn't you?
Oh, of course you can.
Yeah,
we could go for it closer to you.
I'll leave my head there. Then
No,
You're thinking about some of the other people, aren't you? I've had it with people who are very immobile, that they open their mouth and you have it so the spoon goes in their mouth, they close their mouth and the spoon goes away, and that pulls the food off.
Right.
Carry on eating.
Right. Go on. No, you're fine, Rob.
You just this is making you think about lots of other people, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now I'll show you something else this time. After you've had that spoonful, don't turn the plate around.
Okay.
I'll show you a thing that it does. I'm going to turn back for us. So you notice that the spoon takes from the edge of the plate, about here.
Yeah.
And if you want to get the food that's in the middle, if you don't turn the plate around and just press the scoop button again now, without turning it, it goes from the middle. So that's how you get the food from the centre of the plate. The robot remembers, it doesn't know where the food is on the plate because it can't see the food, but it does know where it's scooped on the plate, and it keeps a record of all the sections that it's scooped. So as you eat the food from around the edge and there's food in the middle, as you get to empty sections of plate, or if you turn it to an empty bit, it'll go from the centre. And it just automatically knows that. It does that automatically. You don't have to set it to do anything different.
And that's the computer program that's in it,
Yeah.
is it?
Oh yeah.
Right.
There's a lot of programming that's gone into this.
Sure.
Obviously, as you can see, we've got a little touchscreen on the front there.
Yeah.
And that is partially controlling the robot. The robot also has its own circuit board and motor drivers inside, but the little tablet is where all the movement comes from. It's telling it what movement to do. We don't expect you to put it on your own phone. This comes with that tablet, and all that does is locked to this application. You can't do anything else with it. And even as you're using switches, you still have to have the screen turned on and be using the screen, because the screen tells you how it's working, and it's also communicating with the robot. You might also notice, is there a little red light on here? Yeah, that means that this is now on charge. When it's on the end, when it's sitting on it, so I probably didn't show you this, you can take this off. And this can be for somebody that can hold on to it, and they might have it in their hand, or if somebody's right-handed, they can put it on this side, or wherever you want it. But when it's on its docking port on the front there, on its magnets, it's on charge. So when you charge the robot up, it doesn't have to be on charge, I've just let it go flat. When you fully charge it every night, it'll do your full day's eating without having to have it plugged into the mains.
That's what I was just about to say. Can we use it mobile?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you just need to remember to charge it, unlike me on this weekend.
So how long would a charge last?
A day. You'll get 3 meals out of it. It'll do on testing. It ranges between 2 and 3 hours of continuous movement on a charge, which your meal isn't continuous movement because you're chewing and swallowing.
Life changer.
Cool.
Can I ask a very odd question?
Yeah, of course.
Has it been trialled with anything else apart from feeding? So I'm thinking of somebody, say if somebody was in like an upright wheelchair and was, say, drooling or
as a mouth wiping
eyes,
features. We have, that's future developments. We have considered, well actually when you're eating it might be nice to be able to wipe your mouth as well. So we have wondered as a future development as some things along those lines. But at the moment we just need to sell lots of them to make it worthwhile to look at further facilities. But we can, this is quite expandable. There's a lot of other features that it can do, a lot of other things. So we've built in the ability to modify it a lot. My boss has spent a lot of time designing this robot.
I'm sure.
I mean, more than a decade. The system of control, we spent about 2 years working on the way that just what all the buttons do. Probably if not longer than that, because we've had millions of meetings, and plus we've spent a lot of time with our other equipment. So we've spent a lot of time observing people eating with our other equipment. So we knew what this one wanted to do. So we're trying to make it do everything that people have asked us for. If you have somebody that doesn't have the ability to press 3 buttons, we can have the plate automatically turning. You can have it operated off a head switch. So just as long as somebody can chew and swallow food, there's some. We've recently been working with eye gaze to make it work with eye gaze. So that you can operate it with the eye gaze screen.
We've just had them round at the moment.
Yeah.
They've just left.
Oh, right.
And the pointer as well. The eye gaze on the pointer.
Middle one.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, when you get close to the end of the food, I'll let you have a few more mouthfuls, and then I'll show you a way of getting a bit of a scrape up, because it's getting a bit.
Chap called Gavin.
Yeah.
There's not much left, is there? So we'll do a scrape. We'll do another couple of spoons, and then I'll show you a way of making it scrape it together.
The eye gaze wasn't great for him, but the pointer.
Right.
And he was flying around with the pointer.
Right.
I think the other thing I'm going to do is once it's come back and waited, I'm just going to reduce the pause time, because you've got quicker at taking the food off it, so it doesn't need to sit in your mouth for as long.
Right.
So, in fact, do you want to come and do that? I'll press the menu button, and then if you look at the options, can you see which one it might be?
Wait times?
There we go.
Yeah.
We've tried to make it simple, and then if I bring it off here for a second so you can see properly. So we're looking for how long it pauses at your mouth.
And what is it set at the moment?
It says about 4 seconds. So can you see
2 seconds?
Yeah. Can you see which one it needs to be?
That one?
So time at mouth.
Oh, right. Time at mouth.
And at the moment it's 4 seconds. So let's change it to 2. And press the save button. There we go. And if you see now, it'll actually show you it says 2 seconds. So you change it from 4 to 2 seconds.
Great.
I'll pop that back on there and press the back button. So now when you scoop your next mouthful, it's only going to be a mouth for 2 seconds.
Right.
Are we back on there?
I'm gonna press it in.
Hold on, there we go. Sorry. So when you're ready to do this, you might need to turn the plate around a bit if you need to.
I was just waiting to. I'll get used to these because I'll.
Well, you'll position them in
I'll put them in a position
in an exact place, and you'll get very used to where you want them to be.
Does it automatically turn before it wipes?
Yeah, that's to drop the
Yeah.
food off, wipe the food off in the same spot. So if you've got your sauce and you don't want your ketchup on your carrots, then it will try and put it. When it empties, it does the same thing. It tries to empty in the same spot. So now, being as there's not much left, if you can press and hold the third button and look at the screen while you're doing it, so that's that one there, and it'll say, there you go. So take your foot off now, and you see this one has now changed and it says scrape the plate. So if you press that one, so this will now try and push the food and then pile it up.
Yeah, clever.
There you go, and then it'll do a scoop, and it'll try and do another scoop now to give you a good mouthful because you're getting towards the end of your food. And it'll still go back for a wipe, but now you've got more food. And there you go, it does a turn to do the wipe off to get it all back in the same spot.
That's marvellous.
Isn't it great?
You go start cooking again for him.
I have been.
I'm joking.
But as long as the food is cut small enough to fit on the spoon, you can scoop most things with it. We're not limiting you to what you should try eating. As long as it fits on the spoon and in your mouth, because it will pick up quite big bits of food.
Right.
Oh, it's paused. Oh, that was going. Sorry, that was me being impatient. Let's just let it go. I'll go back for another scoop now. Haven't even shown you that function yet. If you miss the food and it comes to coming to your mouth empty, if you pause it and send it going again, it'll go back for another go rather
On
than
the scoop button.
Yeah. So it'll go back for another go. So you don't have to wait for an empty spoon to come to your mouth and go away again. But
Cheese and that, isn't
yeah, it is. So we try and make it. But the functions like that, people, when it starts coming out the plate empty, people hit the button again out of frustration, and it does exactly what you want it to. So that again, that's one of the things that we've built into it. So if you want to do another scrape up, so long press on your right foot till it says scrape the plate, and then left foot, long press on there, and now left foot. There you go, that's it.
Amazing, isn't it?
And apart from the first drip, we've not had too many, have we? Now it's wiping off each time. When you have a milky breakfast, I always say put it on automatic wipe. If it was anything a bit thicker than that, if it was a gravy or a yoghurt or a sauce, you probably wouldn't have to have it wiping each time, unless that's where you've got the feature to do it when you want.
It's because you have some more milk, Jackie, wouldn't it?
Well, you know, these men won't listen, will they? Have to do it their way, don't they?
Not saying anything. I know what you like, you'll gang up on me.
We will too.
So
Right.
once you've done the plate scrape function, like you've done now, every single scoop would go from the centre. So it doesn't do the edge middle thing anymore, because it knows that you've scraped the plate, so everything's been pushed out. So it always goes from the centre with each one. Most of these things you don't need to remember. You know, it's not stuff that that you have to know how to use it. You just use it, and these things happen.
Right.
No, it's very simple, isn't it?
We want it to be as simple as possible, but at the same regard, it's got to be super complicated because there's so much that it needs to do.
Yeah.
But what I mean is, it's simple. The controls are very easy to
well,
follow
that's
and
exactly
understand.
That's we spent so much time trying to make it intuitive and not needing instructions. Yeah. There is, however, some instructions on the tablet. There is videos that play when you first start using it, telling you how to put the spoon on, how to put the plate on, and you can turn those videos off once you've used it once or twice. In fact, if you can let me,
go on.
What you might do at this moment is this might be where you help a little bit and just do a bit of a scrape together, just to give you rather than chasing your last few bits. If I do that. Yeah. But then what I was just going to show you as well is if I pop onto the tablet here for a second, the question mark in the top corner gives you all the instructions. So they're always here. You can look at them on our website if you want a bigger screen. Right. And then if I do a longer press on that, this shows you some of the videos. These are the videos that play when you start it up. It does things like if you turn the mouth position on, it shows you.
Oh yeah.
So it plays little videos to remind you what to do. You don't have to watch them every time, and they only you can ask it not to play them anymore, which is obviously what I've done with mine. There you go. Yeah. Anyway, I'll let you carry on with you if you want the last couple of spoonfuls.
Yeah, let's go for it. actually amazing.
As you can see, it doesn't take long to get your
No.
eye in as to how long to press the buttons for. People get very good at it very quickly. Now, you may not get every last little scrap of food out of the plate because it's a robot,
Yeah.
but
That's fine. You probably leave that much anyway, wouldn't you normally?
well, you might have dropped that much normally, so
yeah.
I certainly would do.
No.
Does it go by weight
brilliant.
then on the plate in terms of no?
No, it doesn't know where the food
Right.
is. It's got no idea. The robot doesn't.
No, the weight. You know, kind of how much food is left or not.
No, Rob's controlling it, isn't it? He's
I'm
the one
controlling
that's
on the
controlling
foot.
it.
So if he wanted to carry on, and
Oh,
go
you
straight
can,
at
but you
the
probably
very-
won't get every last
Right,
bit out
right.
because it's quite difficult
Right,
to get them.
right.
If you watch now, you're not going to get very much. So
Yeah.
you'll get
So
diminishing
not
returns
Yeah.
because there's not much left on the
Yeah.
plate. So you're getting
Yeah.
you can keep going as long as you want, but you know,
Right.
you might get a bit bored of
Yeah.
having just a small amount.
Yeah.
What you will
Yeah.
see there though is actually it holds liquid quite well as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it does
nice,
actually.
Yeah. We do have a special soup bowl and soup
was gonna
spoon.
say soup,
we do
yeah.
them so that's different because it's a
Right.
bowl with a bowl shape and the soup has a round front.
Right.
So that works really well.
Right.
If you eat lots of soup, it's pretty good. But if you have more sort of meals with, actually even if you have a thicker soup, a chunky veg soup works really well in the ordinary plate. You don't have to
Right.
put a special soup bowl. And
So
soup
the
spoon.
soup bowl's extra.
It comes with 2 pieces of crockery and 2 pieces of cutlery. So I have had some clients that have a lot of soup
Yeah.
and they wanted one with it,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you wanted a soup bowl at the beginning, that's fine. But if it's not something you eat every day, this is
The
for people.
soups would go in that anyway.
Yeah,
Right.
but if you have a chunkier one, then you find
Yeah.
that. Or that's the large plate. The smaller plate is a smaller diameter, but it's a bit deeper, so it's
Right.
got a deeper bowl on it. So it's actually
Yeah.
good for soups as well.
Yeah.
So what do most people tend to order in terms of the actual cutlery? Is
Well,
it a spoon and a fork?
we've got
or-
the fork as well. Let's have a play with the fork.
Okay.
Do you want to have
Leave it
some?
at that
Shall we
for
share,
now.
do you want to have some different food?
Yeah,
So
let's
try
go
and
for it,
stab
yeah.
some